Today's Monday, which I also consider World Domination Day. It's when I get super focused and trying to just get out there and make something happen. And today I got a call right off this morning in a neighborhood I really wanted customers in for my weed control and fertilization business. And I went and looked at the yard and I got the customer, so now I'm going to go spray it. But I want to show you this yard, all the weeds in the yard. This yard's got a lot of weeds. I want to spray it. I want to tell you what I'm using to spray it, and of course I want to show you the results afterwards. Let's get started. So I pulled up on the lawn. Let me give you a little bit of the story. I'm in late winter time and the crabgrass may have already germinated, may not. I'm not sure. This particular customer told me that he'd already put some pre-emergent out early in the year, but I don't really know what he used, which would actually be helpful this time because, again, I don't know if the crabgrass germinated or not, but I'm going to spray some more pre-emergent just to make sure that I've got that part covered, because what I don't want is a bunch of crabgrass. So let me show you the yard. We're going to get to spraying and check back, and I'm going to show you some results on this. Now, some of the neighborhoods I work in, they'll have HOAs and they'll have basically letters you'll get in the mail if you don't keep your yard clean from the weeds. So this yard, it's mostly just a bunch of little broadleaf weeds here, or they're actually not little anymore because the warmer weather is causing these weeds to mature. See what the weeds look like in the back. Honestly, just more of the same. A lot of these big, cool season broadleaf weeds. And yes, I want to control those and dominate those, but I want to also get ahead of any warm season weeds with the pre-emergent. Again, one thing is I'm walking on this lawn, I noticed that it's kind of wet back here. And from a business standpoint, this is a $53 yard, but it's close to my house, it's flat, very easy. For me, I'd rather have a $53 yard than a $153 yard that's on a hill and further away. So this is ideal for what I'm looking for. All right, there's my ground spray rig. I already got it mixed up. I've got prodiamine in there, which is my pre-emergent. Also got change up and metsulfuron in there. Metsulfuron comes under different label names. I've got Manor, another one might be MSM Turf. And the change up I'm going with at a very low rate, 12 ounces per acre. The metsulfuron at 1/4 ounce per acre. And then I've got a liquid version of the prodiamine. I'm going with 17.7 ounces per acre. The surfactant mixed up, ready to go. Let's get to spraying this yard. Of course, I put the green chameleon in the yard, which is a sign of quality. Tips on knowing where you're going. You think, Jason, how do you know where you sprayed and where you hadn't sprayed? Well, this particular situation, I can actually see my footprints in the grass, which is helpful. Also, I'm going to spray a little bit up on the fence so I can see where the fence is wet from the previous pass. Also, it just kind of comes second nature after you do lots of yards. Also, I can pick out a point of reference on the other side. In this situation, it might be a fence post, but in another situation, it might be, anything. It might be a weed, it might be some dog poop. It could be whatever, a tree over there. So I'm going to keep track of where I'm walking based on those factors. There's a few grassy weeds back there like poa annua. For that, I'm going to use Celsius and Certainty. Those are two products I use a lot on warm season lawns. You can use them year round, and they are great on just about any warm season weed you're going to see. So I'm going to go back there and spot treat a little bit with the Celsius and Certainty. We'll be back to check on the results in this lawn. had some warm weather, now it's turned off cool. Some people just want like a disappearing act with their weeds, meaning they want to spray it 2 days later, the weed literally just vanishes. Well, that's not the way it works. They wilt over, look like this most of the time, and when you mow it, guess what? That weed's not coming back once you cut the grass. So it's going to continue to deteriorate, but if they cut the grass first, bam, it's gone, and you don't have to mess with it anymore. And that's pretty much the situation with a lot of these weeds. They're sick and dying. Even that grassy weed is dying, dandelion dying. So you can see them just wilting all over the yard, which is what we're going for. Now, we can use some warmer weather to get this Bermuda waking up, and hopefully by the time we come back and look at this yard again, we're gonna see it start to wake up. Now look at this. This is the this is the annual blue-eyed grass, and it's starting to turn yellow. Now, weird fact about it, it's actually not a grass. It's like a broadleaf weed, and a broadleaf herbicide will kill it. So you can see what it's doing. It's a little bit slower, but I have no doubts that it's gonna die. Same thing with these. Now, I use a very low rate of change up. If I'd use a higher rate, we'd have got faster results. But I mean, dead is dead. You know, that's the way I look at it. Weed all dying, all wilting, similar results. Gotta walk around the other side. Now you can see, you know, the neighbor's yard here has virtually no weeds. When we put a pre-emerge out next fall, this yard should be clean as well. Now, here's one thing that's not necessarily an encouraging sign. Early March, we're already seeing nut sedge in the lawn. That stuff is aggravating. On your nut sedge, you know, you can use something like Certainty or Pro Sedge, and often we'll mix one of those products in with the broadleaf herbicide. So for me, it may be Celsius and Certainty, or I might use Change Up and Pro Sedge, something like that. Solero's another good one. Put the sedge product with the broadleaf product. Then when you're walking the yard, you're pretty much set up for almost any weed you're gonna see. Where if you just got the broadleaf product, you walk the yard spot treating, then you gotta go back with the sedge product, walk the yard spot treating, so it just saves you time. Out on the side of the house here, you can see more of the same, more wilted weeds. Let's check out the back. You know, some weeds are faster to die than others. You got stuff like that. I think that might be cudweed stuff that maybe takes a little bit longer to die sometimes, but he looks like the grass has been cut since I sprayed it. So these are going to continue to die. Get a little bit of green back here. We just need some warm weather, and hopefully the application I did again is going to get ahead of the crabgrass and things like that. So I'm thinking soon this yard is going to be looking really good, and fortunately we've got a homeowner that's willing to participate. It's going to take good care of, so that makes a huge difference, to be honest with you. Let me see what this looks like back here on the very back, because I had some grassy weeds. I came in here and sprayed, I believe, with Celsius and Certainty. They're going to be slower, but I don't have any doubt they're dying. He cut some of them, so anyway, we'll all be all cleaned up soon. Same with the POA, it's going to be slower to die. You see that? Sometimes it starts turning a little bit yellow. So we'll keep checking on this yard and come back when the weather's warmer. And I think we're going to have a great looking yard to look at. Appreciate you guys following along. If you want to start a weed control and fertilization business like me, you can go to lawncarelife.com. I've got video courses, training materials there that might be helpful for you. All right, I'm back for one more update on this lawn. I want to show you the transformation, show you what it looks like now, the improvements, and then talk to you what still needs to happen to get this thing where it needs to be. All right, so what we've done is spray our pre and post emergent and then come back and put some fertilizer. And the weather's been a little inconsistent, low 40s even recently, but still seeing significant color improvement on this lawn, but it's not where, you know, we want it to be. And when the 80s degree temperature, 80s and up in the 90s get here consistently, obviously we're going to get improvement. Now, one thing, because of the lack of a fall pre and post emergent, there is still some weeds that somehow avoided what we did on the first application, the weed control. So I'm still seeing a few things popping up here. The grass has been mowed recently, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm actually scheduled to be back out here in a week or so to spray it again, which should knock out the rest of these weeds. Let's check on the backyard and see what it looks like. Not surprising, Bermuda grass struggling in between these two houses, just probably not getting near enough sunlight to make it look good. All right, here's the overall look of the backyard. Again, the grass has been cut, which is great. I think the weed I keep seeing is the dreaded, some of it at least, might be the American burnweed popping up, which is a problem in the springtime. But again, once I get out here in the next week or two and can spray these weeds, I think they're going to be gone. That'll be one last battle with most of these cool season broadleaf weeds. You can see the Poa annua is starting to be full maturity, but hopefully even before too long it's going to be dying out. The thing that's showing up big time in the lawn already unfortunately, is the nut sedge. That's something I'll be battling all summer long. Very difficult to control it, but you can at least suppress it with certain herbicides. Overall, you can see a significant improvement in the color. A little bit disappointed with these broadleaf weeds. What we're going to do in the next week or two is spray Spectacle Flow. I started doing that last year in late April on into May and had great results in controlling a lot of summer weeds. And I'm going to mix that in with some Change Up, which should destroy most of these broadleaf weeds. Situations where you've got nut sedge, it's going to take a sedge product like Pro Sedge, like Certainty, something like that, Solero. Those are all good sedge products. They can help suppress the nut sedge. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. I've got more transformation videos. And again, I think as we get a little bit warmer weather, they're going to be even more dramatic to show you bigger results on some worse yards I started with. They're going to look even better with a little bit of time. I feel very optimistic about this one heading into summer. If you want to get in weed control and fertilization like me, go to lawncarelife.com. And on those products, if you sign up for the email list, there is a 10% off coupon code for you, as well as some free gifts. We'll see you guys in the next video.